So this is an area where I wouldn't be surprised if we saw future lawsuits going forward.
Well, moving on to Leah Remini, because she had a bombshell lawsuit against the Church of Scientology. As we know, that she has been going after the Church of Scientology for quite some time, but she claimed that Anderson Cooper and Conan O'Brien were threatened by the church after airing content about the organization. So according to the documents, Anderson allegedly warned Leah that their interview might not air. He claimed that he was previously aired footage about Scientology. After it was aired, he faced attacks from the Office of Special Affairs, which is the department of the church, and his team might not be willing to face a new storm of harassment. So in 2010, he aired a 5-part series about Scientology, about a history of violence, about the alleged physical abuse being done by the organization's leader, David Miscavige. And since the series was broadcasted, he has not done another story about the Church of Scientology. So she goes on to say that Conan O'Brien pretty much had the same thing, and that that the Church of Scientology is trying to destroy her life, basically. So she says that her loved ones have been stalked and threatened by Scientology since her exit. And, she's had documentaries on this. She has had series about this as well. And the Church of Scientology told us that this lawsuit is ludicrous and the allegations are pure lunacy. So do you really think that the Church of Scientology will settle this? Will this go to trial? I feel like she's kind of waged a war against this church for quite some time.
Yeah, Leah has really fought the Church of Scientology for quite some time. She's done documentaries, interviews. I don't think the case will go to trial. And the reason I'm saying that is, the Danny Masterson case, which really a lot of the victims in that case blame the Church of Scientology for trying to cover up the alleged rape. The church really tried to take itself out of that case because we know that trials in this country are public, and I don't think the Church of Scientology wants the press in this case. They've gotten a lot of bad press in legal cases. So I think they'll do everything they can to try to get out of this case. Maybe they'll resolve it. But of course, that's going to be up to Leah. If the church can't get the case dismissed, if there's going to be some sort of settlement, that's something that she's going to have to agree to.
Right.
With respect to Anderson Cooper and Conan O'Brien, that's a little bit different because, obviously Leah can raise claims regarding herself, emotional distress, stalking, and that type of thing. But she can't generally raise claims on behalf of other people. That's a standing issue. Obviously, if Anderson Cooper or Conan O'Brien wanted to join the lawsuit as plaintiffs, they could, and they can make their own claims. But generally speaking, unless you're in a special position, such as a parent or a child, and that, or you're a guardian, for instance, the Britney Spears situation, you generally can't raise claims on behalf of someone else. That would require Anderson Cooper or Conan O'Brien to do so.
So would she have had to give them a heads up that she was going to mention their names in this?
No, she wouldn't necessarily have to if they're just witnesses in the case. She can identify them in the complaint. But for them to actually have a claim, get damages, pursue a case, they would have to sign on as plaintiffs themselves.
Got it. I mean, how difficult is it to take on, a church? I mean, it's like a whole religion.
Well, yeah, a lot of folks in Hollywood have come out and they've said that the church is very powerful. The folks that work for the church are very aggressive in litigating these types of cases. They have good lawyers. But, they did lose, at least in the Masterson case. They really tried to keep the Church of Scientology out of the case. The judge ruled against them. That was a unique case because the victims, again, did blame the church. They were members of the church, and they argued, at least to that judge, that the church required them to report to the church and not to law enforcement. And that was the explanation why in the Masterson case they didn't report it to law enforcement, or at least didn't right away. So if it's relevant, again, depending on the judge will keep the Church of Scientology in the case.
Got it. Do you think that this could open doors for other people to bring lawsuits against the Church of Scientology?
It certainly can. And, we know that the church has been aggressive, but we also know that former members have also been aggressive in litigating against the church. So this is an area where I wouldn't be surprised if we saw future lawsuits going forward.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.